January Saturday afternoon in Phillips McCamish Pavillion outside, but inside nothing could dim the enthusiasm for this ACC matchup today as the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets play at home against the Wolfpack of North Carolina State University. A very pleasant good afternoon, everybody, wherever you may be. Bob Rathman, Brian Oliver, great to have you here. This NC State team, Brian, is coming in hot. They've won 3 consecutive conference games, and the big reason why is DJ Funderburg.
Yeah, and DJ Funderburg, he's an all-energy guy. He does a little bit of everything for them. He can score on the post, put the ball on the floor. He's creating a lot of offense in those last 6 starts, and he's a guy that you have to honor him because he can make it a big dang for the guys that's playing defense. He's a low post presence, can score it well, a high-energy guy. You got to box him out on offense as well.
DJ Funderburg leads a Wolfpack attack, coming in off a great road win at Virginia.
Yeah, that Virginia win was big for them. And again, for them, they won the 3 in a row. No Manny Bates today, so he's going to get plenty of touches. You see in the last 6 games, 16 points, 8 rebounds. He's going to be a handful for the Georgia Tech defenders today.
And speaking of the Yellow Jackets, everything that Georgia Tech does rises and falls with their guard play. And that starts at the point.
Yeah, and then at the point is Jose Alvarado. Since he's come back, he has been the catalyst for this team. Had been out for an ankle injury since he's come back last 7 games. Almost 13 points a game, 5 assists. They need him to make sure that he's helping everyone get in the offense. They're going to need his scoring, but he's going to need to play really good defense as well to get that win.
Brian, it's a rematch. These clubs began the ACC season back in early November in Raleigh. Georgia Tech came back and won that game in overtime. They meet again today in Atlanta. We'll meet today's lineups and tip it off from McCamish right after this.
ACC College Hoops is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. Be bold, be confident, live fearless. Your local Ford dealer. And LS Tractor. Visit us at lstractorusa.com.
Welcome back to McCamish Pavillion in Midtown Atlanta. ACC College Hoops coming your way as we get set for the Wolfpack and the Yellow Jackets. Let's take a look at our LS Tractor starting lineups for today's game. And this group has been getting it done for the Wolfpack. A lot centers around Markel Johnson. We'll talk about him. And for Georgia Tech, no Michael DeVoe today. A late scratch with a foot problem. And Khalid Moore is going to get a crack at it today. Josh putting him back in the starting lineup.
And Khalid Moore is a guy that can give them a lot of different options as far as guarding and being able to finish a very active person on defense.
Take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by your local Ford dealer.
Well, things that stick out for me, Bob, for NC State, pressure equaling points. This is a team that's going to get out and try to use some defense to get the offense. And for Georgia Tech, it's simple. Protect the rock. They have had games that they've been able to pull out, but then towards the end, turnovers have been something that's plagued them for most of the season.
A rematch. Georgia Tech with an overtime victory to begin the ACC season at PNC Arena. We got a Final Four officiating crew today, to be sure. Bill Covington Jr. is our lead with Brian O'Connell and Justin Porterfield. Jackets looking to win their first ACC home game, and the Wolfpack looking to keep it going on the road, and that has been a theme in this ACC season. Unprecedented success for road teams in conference games.
Georgia Tech will show NC State a lot of different looks. Starting out in what is a 1-3-1. Josh Pastner will change his looks throughout the game to try to confuse them.
NC State started the game in Raleigh like a house of fire. They jumped off 8-0 against a Georgia Tech man-to-man. A long 3, no good by Johnson. A scrap for the rebound, and it's out to the Jackets. We talked about Michael DeVoe. He's out today with a left foot injury. And that's a big scoring part of this Georgia Tech offense. He is 5th in the conference in scoring at 16.2.
And interesting to see who's going to pick up that slack today with no DeVoe, because as of late he has, like you said, been that guy that's giving them that shot in the arm from the offensive end on outside.
Moore making his 10th start of the season here today, but hasn't played in the last 2 games. He handles it out front, number 12. This is Alvarado. Jose probing into the paint. Shot clock at 2. Shot clock violation.
How about the defense by DJ Funderburg? Switching out on Jose Alvarado. A lot of times when the guard sees a big, he feels like he's taking advantage. But that's one of the things he can do is be able to guard on the perimeter.
There's Michael DeVoe. And that gaudy stat line unavailable for the Jackets. NC State has been idle since Monday. Rice with his miss. It's taken down by Wright. Moses plays it ahead to Alvarado. Now cross court. This one's up for grabs. Tech last to touch. NC State basketball.
And Bob, we talked earlier about for this Georgia Tech team turnovers. I think there are tendencies sometimes for the guards to try to make the home run play. You saw Jordan Usher try to make that cross court pass. Josh Pass is going to let them have some freedom at the beginning, but they need to do a better job of running their offense.
Markel Johnson been playing outstanding basketball of late. Helms from the wing. And a foul coming against the Wolfpack. This one goes against C.J. Bryce. Richard Sr. picks up his first. Kevin Keats trying to gain that first ever win over Georgia Tech.
And I saw that, and I thought it was amazing. But again, last year, Georgia Tech winning up in Raleigh. Then again at the beginning of the season.
Kevin's in his 4th season as the Wolfpack head coach. A 3rd season, rather. 4th season for Josh and Georgia Tech. Shot clock's at 16.
One of the things about this NC State team is that they have, with their length and physicality, they extend you. They disrupt what you're trying to do. Georgia Tech has not been able to establish any kind of offensive rhythm early.
Usher driving, and a blocking foul on the Wolfpack. Devin Daniels.
Jordan Usher has been that guy since he's come in, where you see trying to penetrate. You see Daniels not being able to slide in front of him. Usher's going to be a guy that's going to put a lot of pressure trying to attack the basket.
Wright from 16. Nothing but net. Moses Wright has been a consistent scorer of late. Double figures in 9 of his last 10 games.
And he's been the guy for Josh Passion and stepped up as late. His ability to be able to knock down that mid-range jumper, coupled with his athleticism, has given them a lot of big offense as of late.
Bryce. Alvarado claims the loose ball. Here come the Jackets. Off to a 2-0 start here, just underway from McCamish Pavillion in Atlanta. Usher driving. Wrap around. Inside. Knocked away. Trying to get the ball into the hands of 6'10" senior James Banks.
And that penetration from Jordan Usher. Again, you try to attack the rim, but that last time, forcing the help, being able to dump it off over to Banks.
And out of bounds. It's an and one. Helms with the foul. And Georgia Tech scoring on an easy pass in from under the basket.
A lot of times with your out-of-bounds plays, you want to try to catch the defender sleeping. And you see Usher with a nice pass to Moore, being able to get behind the defense with the finish going to the line for and one.
And the free throw is good. So Georgia Tech returning the favor. Remember, in Raleigh it was 8 in favor of the Pack. Today, the Jackets with the early lead, and NC State's cold.
NC State settling for the outside jumper. Georgia Tech doing a good job of being able to limit them to one shot.
Alvarado. Wright plays it back out. Here's Moore. Khalid. Banks with a turnaround. And hit by friendly fire.
Apparently Jordan Usher didn't realize if you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. That last time. But if you're Josh Passer, you'll take that. Bob, I think for North Carolina State, they're getting some good looks on the outside, but to beat the zone, you've got to go inside out, force that Georgia Tech zone to collapse a little bit.
And Brian, the guy that you talked about, who's been so hot for the Pack, DJ Funderburg, hasn't touched the ball.
And I think one of the things that they can exploit is him right there at the free throw line. That gives him a one-on-one match against Banks. But they've got Beverly in the game, and I think that's one of the things that he will hopefully be able to get some outside shots and get them some better looks.
Khalid Moore with the personal. 5-0 Jackets. Helms goes cross court, catch and shoot for Johnson, and that's good. Markel Johnson.
Good ball movement for NC State. Getting the ball inside, then out. Cross court pass. Allows the Georgia Tech team, they can't really recover.
Alvarado, nice lead to Banks. Gets rid of it. Usher from the corner, good for three. Jordan Usher knocking it down, just 3 for 22 on threes coming into the game. Jackets go back up by 5. Braxton Beverly pulls it out for the Wolfpack. Here's Funderburg from the right elbow. Usher coming up with a rebound. Waiting for teammate Moses Wright to come down. And a timeout is called as Moses Wright is shaken up. An official's timeout. And that is going to stop the clock at 15:23.
Well, we said that Georgia Tech needs to find some offense today. Seems that Jordan Usher has been that guy right now. Georgia Tech up 5.
8-3, Yellow Jackets on top of the Wolfpack. It's time to check out our Hardy's star to watch. And that is none other than DJ Funderburg. One shot so far in this game.
And I think that Georgia Tech, by playing that 1-3 zone, has been able to neutralize him. Because, again, that's not allowing him to get the ball in post where he's more effective. If I'm Kevin Keats, I find a way to get the ball into him and then allowing him to be able to maybe do a little one-on-one or post him up on the backside rotation of the ball.
Cleanup duty at the other end of the floor. That's the reason for the delay. Now we're set. And Brian O'Connell bounces the ball to Usher. Here we go. Usher's been a positive force here for the Jackets. In this one early, Alvarado missing. And crashing the glass is Usher for the loose ball foul. The transfer from Southern California picks up his first foul. Local product out of Wheeler High School. 8-3 Jackets. One trademark of Coach Pastor's Tech teams has been some pretty stingy defense through the years. They create the turnover here. Alvarado gets it back. Quickly inside. Now a wing three by Moore. Rebounded by Beverly.
I thought Jordan Usher passed up a wide open three in the corner. It already hit one. You got to take those open looks when you get it. Georgia Tech's going to look to try to run that first 7 seconds when they can.
And another poor pass. The Jackets trying to turn it into points. Moore going up and in. The lead Moore now with 5.
We talked about ball security with Georgia Tech at the beginning of the game, Bob, and it seems like North Carolina State having some problems with this 1-3-1 zone of Georgia Tech.
The Jackets 34th in the country in defensive efficiency in the Ken Palm stats this week. And this foul is going to be on Jordan Usher. So Brian Oliver, he picks up a second quick one here at 14-14. Free throws coming for sophomore Jericho Helms. But first, a quick word from Works.
The Works Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get projects done twice as fast.
For the Jackets, Bubba Parham is in. C.J. Bryce coming out of the game for the Wolfpack, and Daniels back in. Second shot good. And another sub as Danny Dixon checks in. Danny Dixon, the 6'10 grad transfer, had a couple of points in 15 minutes in Virginia Monday, and DJ Funderburg gets a blow. 10-5 Jackets.
North Carolina State not being able to find the touch from outside, extending that pressure, trying to create some turnovers.
Alvarado corkscrews the jumper and misses, but the Jackets get it back. Alvarado for 3. Daniels Moore couldn't handle it, and it's out of bounds to NC State. Evan Cole now coming in for Georgia Tech. The 6'10" coming Georgia junior. We'll go get James Banks.
Different kind of lineup with Evan Cole on the floor. He's a guy that can stretch out, put the ball on the floor. High energy guy. As of late, I like the contributions that Evan has been giving Georgia Tech.
Out the double team, a steal. Alvarado going up and count the basket, and a blocking foul.
Bob, we talked about Jose Alvarado, and he's the catalyst for this team. You saw him come up with being able to get the stem. Active hands, being able to strip the ball from Johnson, and then he's off and racing. Trying to survey the opportunity to see if he can score. Gets to the line for opportunity for an and one.
Jose averaging 12.5 per game in the 10 backs from injury. Missed 7 games in November and December with that ankle injury. Another 3-point play for Georgia Tech, and they stretch the lead out to 13-5. Wolfpack looking for offense. They turn to Johnson at rim's nose.
Good penetration by Hellum, and I think that for that 1-3-1 zone, got to get to the gaps of it, get a good shot that last time, a makeable shot by Johnson.
NC State is 1 of 8 from the field. Entry. And a turnaround jam from Moses Wright. NC State's going to take a timeout here. Everything going Georgia Tech's way right now. They're creating offense with their defense, and they're cashing into the other end.
And they did a good job of being able to get the ball. That last play you see, getting the ball over to Moses Wright. He had a smaller guard in Braxton Belt, really, being able to finish at the rim. Georgia Tech doing a good job of being able to take care of the ball. He said last time, late rotation. Wright is the guy that finishes well at the rim. Georgia Tech off to a good start.
Moses Wright has been a dynamite performer in conference play this year. He leads the Jackets in scoring in conference games at 14.2. Top 10 in the league in rebounding. He's been a force.
And he's a guy that's super athletic for this team. He did a better job working on the summer on that perimeter jump shot. We saw him knock that down early. And again, he's that guy, again, we talked about with no Michael DeVoe, who would step up. He's come out and given him some really good energy early in the first half.
Meanwhile, Kevin Keats, it's read 'em and weep when it comes to the NC State stats.
When I think that one of the things that's thrown them off is this 1-3-1 zone of Georgia Tech. They have settled for a lot. They've got some open looks and have gotten some contested shots. I still think that you try to penetrate those gaps, try to get it to the teeth of this Georgia Tech defense.
DJ Funderburk remains on the bench. Beverly hits. A deep three. Braxton Beverly with a big shot.
And if there's anyone on that NC State team that can catch fire quick, is Braxton Beverly. Definitely got to read the scouting report to get to him soon.
Bubba Parham wide left. Wolfpack the other way with Markel Johnson. He feeds inside. The lay-in rolls off. No good by Dixon.
Missed opportunity. If you're NC State, that's what you want to do. You don't want to have to set up against that 1-3-1. We want to take advantage to get out in transition. Last time coming up short.
Parham one-hands it back to Alvarado. In on the dribble, floater good.
Jose Alvarado is one of those guys that, you know, a New York City point guard, he understands if he's got a mismatch and get a step, feeling it early, realizing that he could get to the basket at will.
17-8. Daniels giving it back. C.J. Bryce looking for his first points, and the Jackets come up with the ball again.
And again, we're talking about Jose Alvarado. He's the guy that's got him up. Georgia Tech fans excited. We got Jose Alvarado giving his best. Georgia Tech doing well. Up
9. ACC College Hoops is brought to you by the Works Switch Driver 2-in-1 Drill and Driver, Myrtle Beach Golf Trail, and Bojangles Sausage Biscuits. It's bow time.
You're looking at Roger Kaiser, who was the first great star for Georgia Tech basketball back in the late 50s and early 60s. Letterman's weekend here on the Flats, and Roger just introduced to the crowd Not only was he an unbelievable basketball player, a great baseball player here at Georgia Tech, and then when he left his playing days here, he became a fantastic coach.
Well,
first at West Georgia, then at Life University.
Well, I'm going to tell you, for those, I'm a Georgia Tech guy that knows his heritage, and so I know that Roger Kaiser was that guy. And I mean, I know probably up until recently, Roger was still that guy that was playing like with the over 60 team and still giving people buckets. So great to see Roger. He's done a lot for the Georgia Tech basketball program.
From Dale, Indiana, Roger Kaiser. Finally remembered here by the fans at McCamish Pavillion, and great to see him as always. 17-8 Georgia Tech. Moses Wright. Rebound belongs to Daniels. Johnson in transition. State getting close. Helms. No luck off the glass. Some contact, but no whistle. Alvarado. Parham saves it in the corner. Shot clock at 12. Alvarado floats, hits.
How many times have we seen in this first half Jose Alvarado be able to break down a defender and get that little run? And we've seen 3 times being able to break down the NC State guards and be able to finish at the basket.
Daniels had 12 points and 6 assists against the Jackets. Looks to shoot it here. No, gives it up. Helen, little long, and a foul underneath. And this will be on Georgia Tech's Bubba Parham, his first.
I still think that for NC State, they've got to find a way to establish DJ Funderburk. There's not a matchup. I don't think that Cole or Wright can handle him one-on-one.
Entry pass, a little delicate, but Funderburk has it. State seemingly, Brian, is having a hard time penetrating and getting into the middle of that 1-3-1.
Well, I think that because Georgia Tech is doing a good job of being able to force him off the shots, and you see the little runner by Braxton Beverly. And a guy like Beverly, you have to honor that three-point shot. He's gotten a lot better at being able to put the ball on the floor and finish.
Beverly's been in a bit of a slump. He's missed 14 of his last 18 threes, but hit that big three a second ago. Now gets the love of the rim on this one. 19-10 Georgia Tech.
Well, Georgia Tech's done a good job in his first half of being able to get to the basket. Up until now, you see Parham throws one into the stands.
And those are the kind of turnovers that just flummoxed Georgia Tech.
Well, here's the thing. They have been able to get this lead by being able to get to the basket. Keep it simple. You don't have to go for the home run plays. We've seen that twice. That's one of the things that Josh Pastner said early, is that his guys has a tendency to try to make the home run play, and that's what gets them in trouble.
Well, it's one thing to turn it over, and it's another thing to do something with them. And NC State's yet to score off a Georgia Tech turnover to date. Halfway through the first period, the turnaround wide left for Daniels. Johnson has it. Beverly splits the defenders, drives in, high glass, and good.
How about Braxton Beverly? A guy that's known for knocking down the three-point shot. 2 big drives, being able to get to the lane and finish.
And only 3 in the win at Virginia Monday. But he is coming up big when the Wolfpack needs his offense. Parham. And over the back is Evan Cole.
Interesting to see for Georgia Tech with Jose Alvarado on the bench. How does Georgia Tech still run their offense? Again, we saw him being able to get to the ball, get to the basket, penetrate, and get guys their shots. Interesting to see now with him on the bench. How long does Josh Pastner keep him?
Well, we've talked about Funderburk, but I think another key guy, Brian, is C.J. Bryce. He's really the guy that makes this team go.
And he's a guy that on that wing that can go get his shot. They haven't been able to get him rolling yet.
Rolls out to Helms. Here's C.J. Pull up, blocked, taken down by Tech. Jumper from the corner is an air ball by Phillips.
And that's not a shot that I think if you're Josh Pastner, you want out of Phillips right now. Again, if you get a chance to get a wide open shot but a contested 3, then you can get the ball inside where they've had success early.
Beverly saves. Here's CJ trying to get a shot off. Now they get it inside. Funderburg delivers. Timeout, Yellow Jackets. DJ Funderburg, who's been in double figures in 9 consecutive games and has led Kevin Keats Ball Club in scoring 6 times in the last 7. His first bucket, Brian, comes at 8:30 of the first half. When we come back, we'll chat with the head football coach here on the Flats, Jeff Collins, as we continue our coverage of the ACC from Atlanta right after this. We talked about Letterman's weekend here on the Flats, and these gentlemen being recognized here on the last time out, 19-14. The Jackets have the lead over the Wolfpack of NC State. And we'd like to welcome in the head football coach at Georgia Tech, Jeff Collins. Jeff, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Speaking of Letterman, how about this guy right here?
Right. Good stuff.
Coach, good to see you.
You too.
The pride of Conyers.
Yes.
It's great to have him with us here today. And I know you're all into the history and tradition of this place.
Sure.
So a weekend like this means a lot to the entire athletic department.
Absolutely. I love Georgia Tech. I'm from Atlanta, born in Decatur, went to high school in Conyers, and this is just a special place, and I'm lucky to be the head football coach here.
Well, we saw the schedule came out. Another easy opener for you with Clemson coming in. And we saw that Notre Dame game that's going to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's going to be right around the corner.
Yeah, it's coming fast. We've got the spring game April 10th, and excited to see the Yellow Jacket Nation come out and support our guys. We just signed one of the top 2 recruiting classes in Georgia Tech football history, so really excited about that.
Coach, I'm interested in, after year 1, how would you assess how the program is from last year and where you see it going next year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got a lot of returning players coming back. Probably 95% of our production on offense is coming back, and the same thing can be said on the defensive side of the ball. And again, one of the best recruiting classes in school history. There's 8 of the guys that are already here. We've had an unbelievable transformation on the offensive line, going from the triple option to a more modern NFL spread offense. And we have 4 offensive linemen already on campus that average 6'5", 294 pounds with that signing class, and I'm really excited about them.
A lot of coaches stray away from social media, but you're a guy that I know that embraces that.
Absolutely.
Can you talk about how much that means for you and your kids, and then as far as recruiting too?
Yeah, sure. So for people out there listening on Twitter, it's at Coach Collins on Twitter. But the big thing with us is we want to have a very strong brand, represent Atlanta, represent the 404, our area code, and we want to show our brand and our culture through social media at a very, very high level.
Wolfpack with it. Outside it goes to Markel Johnson. He misses, but State comes up with it, and then a travel, and the Jackets will get the ball back. You played your football up in Western Carolina,
I did.
up in Cullowhee. I know with NC State in town today, we've got a lot of folks back in North Carolina watching, and certainly the football is great, but North Carolina made its mark in basketball.
Sure, absolutely.
It's a great basketball.
And actually, my first college start was against NC State. Had 15 tackles in my first game as a collegiate football player. And I was playing free safety, so 15 tackles there probably wasn't very good for the old Catamounts. So I love watching Usher play. He reminds me of a tight end, a big physical slot receiver, and plays really, really hard too.
The 3 by Alvarado, then Funderburg fouled on the drive. The personal goes on Moses Wright, and that will be his first. Now, Coach Pastner is not going to be thrilled with you plucking off his basketball players to go play football.
Now, we've got a great relationship. He actively recruits one of my safeties, Wanye Thomas, and we have a great relationship. And with all the athletic departments, Todd Stansby, our AD, does a good job making sure we're all connected as an athletics department family. And whenever we win, Josh is one of the first ones to text me. And every time they win, especially when they win on the road, their gas station tradition that they have, stopping on the way to the airplane, and I think it's one of the coolest things that's going in college sports.
Well, here's the acid test of how much he likes you. Will he join you at Waffle House?
There's no doubt he will. Absolutely.
22-16. Jeff Collins, the head coach of the Jacket football team, joining us here for a moment as the Jackets Go to Alvarado, and then his pass is taken away, but stolen back by Banks. Usher going in, kicks it out. Alvarado's been the hot man. Sidestep three is good. Third team for Jose Alvarado.
How about Jose Alvarado? He said it last time. Jordan Usher opting to pass it out, understand where the hot hand is.
Nice cut. And the jam by Devin Daniels. His first hoop of the game.
Bob, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach.
I mean, it's fun watching these kids up close and in person. We share a training table where we have meals, and we see the men's basketball team, women's basketball team coming through, interacting with them, and our players as well. It's really good to see them up close and personal, playing at such a high level.
5:48 to play, opening half. Moses Wright, and that's going to be an offensive foul. And the young man from Raleigh and Enloe High School picks up his second.
Jericho Helms doing a good job of being able to move his feet last time, being able to move over, absorbing it right in the jersey, right between the numbers. NC State has been able to withstand this Georgia Tech lead and find some offense. I thought that they struggled early in the first half. Now, Bob, settling down, being able to get more attacks and runs at the rim.
25-18, Georgia Tech. Shot clock at 10. And sneaking behind the defense, Helms, and he gets the lob and lay in.
Nice shot, nice pass by Johnson, realizing that against that 1-3-1 zone, if you occupy that bottom guy, that dunk in last night by Helms.
That looked like you in the defensive secondary up in Culloway.
Right there, absolutely.
Bubba Parham gives it. Alvarado. Rebound to the Wolfpack. Push ahead. Helms on the wing. Beverly giving the Wolfpack a good spark off the bench. 25-20. Johnson picked off by Alvarado. Daniels to challenge. And a foul.
Sorry about acting like a fan right there. Probably wasn't the most professional thing as a broadcaster to be cheering for our guys, but that was a nice play.
Well, Alvarado has proven, we talked about him earlier, what he means to this Georgia Tech team. And already him being able to get these steals and get out in transition gives an opportunity to be able to finish. He said last time, going to the basket, getting fouled.
And my favorite thing watching him play all season is what a competitor he is. Tenacious on the boards and just relentless defender. He's fun to watch.
I mean, talking to Josh Pass, that's one of the things that he emphasizes for this group,
right,
is that he's the leader. He's the guy that not necessarily scores all the time, but gets everyone there. He's been able to uplift them in the first half with his tenacious defense so far.
A missed free throw. 26-20, Georgia Tech. Off the high glass. Nicely done with the left hand from Markel Johnson.
And that's what Markel Johnson can do for this NC State team. I think that they're slowly understanding how to beat that zone, being able to get the one-on-one opportunities. Good finish.
Parham with the floater. 28-22. Funderburk inside. Goaltender. Funderburk gets the bucket, and that's up to 6 points.
I thought North Carolina State did a real good job of being able to realize that they had the mismatch with Funderburk down there with a mismatch on Alvarado. How about
Congratulations to Markel. Under 4 to play, first half. 28-24. Parham from 15. Can't rainbow it in, and Funderburk high to claim it. Johnson works off the screen. Trying to get downhill on Alvarado. Banks it in. And Georgia Tech will take the timeout. Jeff, thanks.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Great to meet you. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Coach. Good to see you.
Good luck. Have a healthy and productive spring practice.
Thank you very much.
28-26 is our score. A timeout in Atlanta. The big story for the Jackets, Jose Alvarado. But the Jacket lead has been cut to 2. Jose Alvarado. Boy, has he been getting it done in this first half. A couple of threes. He looks terrific.
And again, he came out. I thought he set the tone for Georgia Tech, being able to get to the basket, knock down some shots. Seems like he's gotten a nice little rhythm right now. Georgia Tech was able to get in that run right there. You see him stringing the guitar right there, Guitar Hero.
That's right. Our Toyota Let's Go Places numbers for Jose Alvarado here in the first half today after an 0-for-4 start. He's at 5 of his last 6, and he has scored 14 points. But give the Wolfpack credit. Despite that barrage from Alvarado, they have worked their way right back into this game.
And again, we talked about how they struggled with that 1-3-1 zone. I thought that they were able to find some opportunities to get to the basket, knock down some shots. One of the keys for them is being able to get out in transition and not allow Georgia Tech to set up their defense.
NC State sets up the press. Moses Wright giving it over to Bubba Parham, or rather to Khalid Moore. Banks at the high post. Alvarado tried to feed it inside, turns it over, and the Wolfpack now can tie with a 2, lead with a 3. Markel Johnson fouled on the dribble drive.
Tech foul charge to number 12,
Khalid Moore, and that will be his 3rd foul of the game with 3:12 to go in the half.
You see Moore come up limping.
Tech substitution number 11,
You see the penetration. Moore trying to slide over. You see the twisting of that left ankle there. Not a good sign for Georgia Tech. You already have Michael DeVoe over there, and now you bring in Bubba Parham that cuts into that bench.
Parham coming into the game. Markel Johnson getting it done with his 8th point, and he's 2nd in the league in assists at 6.6. He is starting to have that big senior year that Wolfpack fans everywhere wanted to see from the outset.
Well, he does so much for this ball club. Again, you know that you talk about the assists and how he's able to find everyone. He's a guy also that can get his own shot. And I think that right now he has to pick his spots.
And a hold on Jericho Helms. That will be his 2nd. The Wolfpack coming back to tie the game after trailing by as many as 11, and they've done it without an offensive contribution from C.J. Bryce.
Yeah, and they've been able to, and I think that when Braxton Beverly came in, knocked down a couple shots, and then what you've gotten from Johnson, but I think at some point they're going to have to get the ball because that's a matchup that they can win by getting the ball into DJ Funderburk.
To the free throw line for Georgia Tech, Moses Wright misses the front end. Now the Wolfpack looking to take the lead. And on the reverse, Markel Johnson.
Looks to me that Markel Johnson is taking on that matchup with Jose Alvarado, and it's a little mano-a-mano, trying to go back at him, realizing that Alvarado started out hot. Now he's going back at him.
Expose the ball. And on the backdoor cut, Wolfpack jumps on the bounce pass. NC State by 2. Johnson. Alvarado trying to return the favor with the steal. Now Funderburk gives it back to him. Still plenty of clock to work with. Markel lobs it into Funderburk. One-on-one against Banks. To the cut and miss Daniels. And then we've got a foul on the reach by Braxton Beverly. It's his 2nd. Evan Cole coming in for Bubba Parham. Free throws at the other end, and Jose Alvarado.
Jose Alvarado at the line, shooting 1 and 1.
Wednesday at Louisville, Alvarado had 13 points, a career-high 10 rebounds. Earlier in the week, he had been experiencing some back spasms. This is the front end. Wolfpack has scored 8 straight.
Yeah, free throws important for Georgia Tech, coming up short. When you go back to North Carolina State, I think that they've been able to establish a rhythm offensively.
Funderburk. Johnson. Beverly catch and shoot. middle. Matched against Funderburk. And again, on a backdoor cut, the Wolfpack sitting back in that lane. Now Funderburk takes it and misses it, but tips it in with the left hand.
And that's where NC State is at its best. You saw the turnover, being able to turn defense to offense. And it's again, you see, getting the ball out, DJ Funderburk coming what could have been a foul. Looked like it may have been a little bit of an offensive goaltend there, but again, back to NC State, I think that they have been able to get out in transition and take advantage of the turnovers that Georgia Tech has been committing as of late.
Georgia Tech fans know, watching this ball club all year, they go through these lulls. Just a question of how long will it last. State has gone from 11 down to now 4 up. Final minute of this first half. Bubba Parham back to Cole on the wing. Measures and makes the three.
That's one of the aspects of Evan Cole's game that's picked up from last year. I thought that he was a guy that was hesitant to shoot outside, realizing with the spacing to knock it down. Shot to stop the momentum from NC State.
32-31 NC State. Big basket for the Jackets as we come to the end of the half. Should be a 2-for-1 opportunity for the Jackets. A block and a takeaway by James Banks. Now the shot clock is off. So indeed, the Jackets got the 3 from Cole, get a second opportunity here inside the final minute.
I'd put Funderburk in a pick and roll and get to the basket.
Parham just lets it fly, and the horn sounds ending the first half. We've reached intermission in Atlanta. NC State rallies back to take a 1-point lead at halftime. ACC action from McCamish Pavillion on the campus of Georgia Tech. Alvarado versus Johnson. State versus Georgia Tech. Halftime. Straight ahead. Stay with us. Halftime here at McCamish Pavillion in Atlanta, with NC State leading 32-31 over the Jackets of Georgia Tech. 1-point Wolfpack lead here at halftime. Throughout the season, we will be bringing you profiles of some of our outstanding ACC head coaches. And today, we continue our tour with our conversation with Georgia Tech's Josh Pastner.
ACC College Hoops is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. Husqvarna, All-Star Lawns start with Automower. And CPI Security.
On the flats in Atlanta, 32-31, NC State with the lead, and the road team, Brian, with a 1-point advantage here. And that's been the theme in conference play until today. Road teams have had unprecedented success. Coming into the weekend, road teams have won more conference games than they've lost. That's never happened in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference. In fact, the best year ever for road teams, you got to go all the way back to 1955, which is the second year of this conference's existence, to find a year where the road team has had such great success. But today, all road teams have gone down to defeat in the game so far, and many of them in a very big way. Carolina routing Miami. Syracuse continues to roll. They've got 5 in a row. BC wins at home. And Louisville put away Clemson big time behind Darius Perry.
Well, a lot of things, too. I think that what makes that essential is the fact that there's a lot of parity. There's a lot more parity in the ACC than they have. You've got a couple of upper-tier teams with the Louisvilles and Florida States and the Dukes, but then there's a lot of shifting amongst those others. And like you said, this time today, home teams were able to prevail.
And let's check out the action from the KFC Yum Center in Louisville today. Darius Perry was unstoppable. He had 19 in the big win over the Tigers.
And what was so big about him is the fact that he did it for inside, outside. Caught fire for Louisville. And this is a guy that normally stays within his role, but he had it going, got it going early. And it seemed like that he was able to get it from outside and from inside. A big night for him. They needed his production because he came up with 19 points, shot the lights out of it from outside. You see 5 for 6 from behind the arc.
And Louisville continues to roll atop the ACC standings, now 8-1 in conference play. And you see Florida State and Duke right behind. Wolfpack with this winning streak, they've gone to 5-3 in such a huge game for the Jackets.
And again, we talked about teams trying to get some separation right there. How about Syracuse? You got NC State right there, right behind them. With Syracuse winning today, NC State wants to stay right there in the thick of things.
More coming up from Atlanta with our halftime score. NC State 32, Georgia Tech 31. Welcome back, and time to take a look at our game summary presented by your local Chevy dealers. Brian Oliver, what stands out to you, my friend?
Well, to be honest with you, everything is pretty much equal. You sit back and you look at the field goal percentage and you look at points off of turnovers, bench points. I thought that it was Georgia Tech early. North Carolina State went on a run, and I think it kind of balanced itself off because we had 2 point guards that actually one dominated early and the other one finished it off.
And that really was the game within the game.
Yeah,
how the 2 point guards were going.
And earlier on, I thought it was Jose Alvarado. It was his defense and him being able to kind of ignite this Georgia Tech offense early. His ability to be able to break down the defender to get down, and when he wasn't doing that, Bob, he was knocking down threes. I thought he was the catalyst, but then Markell Johnson kind of got NC State back into it. I thought they struggled early, him being able to find some early offense. I thought he got a nice little rhythm, got to the basket, and then he kind of put this NC State team on his back to allow them to get back into this game and eventually get up to the point where they took that 1 point lead into the half.
Markell with 11. He eclipsed 1,000 career points in that first half. DJ Funderburk got going late in the half and finished with 8. For Georgia Tech, Alvarado was outstanding. Jose with 14 points to lead the way on 5 out of 10 shooting, and he missed his first 4 shots. Khalid Moore getting a start today, responded with 5.
And here's what I think. I think that what allowed NC State to get back into the game is that Georgia Tech has some costly turnovers. We talked about this is one of the things for them. Ball security is imperative for them. They allowed NC State to get back into the game because they were able to get in transition. I thought they confused them earlier on with that 1-3-1 zone.
Key performers sitting it out. No Manny Bates, no Pat Andre for NC State, no Michael DeVoe. A late scratch with a left foot injury for the Yellow Jackets. Here we go with the second half, and this one deflected and taken away by Johnson. Markell going up and in, and an and one, and that's the 4th on Moore.
Again, turnover, but Markell Johnson is that guy. Again, we talked about NC State and their ability to be able to disrupt everything. Deflections gets out in their defense, and you see Johnson realize he can get to the basket. Athletic more than you know. Great finish, going to the line to finish it.
Moore goes right to the bench in favor of Bubba Parham with that 4th foul. Markell missing the free throw. And the NC State lead is 34-31.
And Bob, this has been a reoccurring thing with Georgia Tech. They have been in most games, and the games that they have lost, we've even talked to Josh Pastner. Ball security is very important for them, not off to a good start.
Count the basket. Usher. They give him the continuation. And a free throw to come. The foul on Devin Daniels. His 3rd.
Nice move by Usher, and you see he's a guy at 6'7", can absorb the contact, finish around the rim. And Georgia Tech's going to need another guy. In the first half, it was Alvarado. They need someone else offensively to be able to step up for him.
And even though Usher just had that early 3, I thought he came out with an aggressive mindset.
He did, and they need, especially on defense. Again, with NC State, you have to be able to pressure them and disrupt them as well. They've got a lot of guys. Again, I thought he did a good job for them on that.
Daniels with the baseline floater. Second field goal for the redshirt junior from Michigan. 36-34 NC State.
And this NC State team, they do a good job of being able to realize that they shoot the ball well from outside, but they've got guys in Daniels that can put the ball on the floor and go get a basket. Good finish for them.
And zeroing in is Jordan Usher.
And this is a guy in Usher who can, if he gets hot, he's streaky. Again, if he finds the rim, gets going a little bit, rides that emotion, look out to see if he can add on it and start getting some kind of momentum.
Funderburk. Strong rebound by Usher. Well, you got to love his energy. Look at him run the floor. 36 all. Parham. Bounce back out to Alvarado. Thought about it. Working on Helms. Trying to create space. Parham to the baseline. Right. Nothing there. Kel Johnson brings it up. Helms moves in. Knocked out of bounds.
I think that Georgia Tech at some point has got to establish either Wright or Banks down low. You'll be able to ride Alvarado early, but you can't beat this NC State team if you don't have any kind of offensive contribution from your big guys.
Banks is a guy averaging 12 points and 8 rebounds in conference play. He hasn't scratched, neither has Bryce. So two guys that normally score a lot of points have been shut out here in today's game. Johnson, 4-3. Oh, nearly tipped in by the Jackets. Usher will clear, bring it up. Parham from the corner, rainbow three. NC State's Bryce clearing to Johnson, sidesteps the defender, hooks it to the wing. Daniels.
Again, we talked about NC State, and that's what Markel Johnson does for this team. You know he can score. Being able to push the ball, get into the teeth of the defense, realize he's got a guy that can knock it down in Devin Daniels.
39-36 NC State. Alvarado into the paint, but NC State building a wall down there. Alvarado just not going to be denied.
Wow, how about a little bit of bully ball by Jose Alvarado? Determined, realized he had a much taller Jericho Helms. Just kind of stayed with it and forced that basket in.
39-38. Daniel. And count the basket. Devin Daniels going to work. And that is going to be an offensive foul. So take the hoop away. That's 4 on Daniel.
And we talked about the contributions by Jose Alvarado. That last time sacrificing his body, being able to get outside the lane. And again, this is what they've been able to do as far as this game going back and forth.
39-38 State. Alvarado. Usher, wrap around, Banks. There's his first hoop.
That play was set up by Alvarado being able to get over to Usher. And Usher not satisfied with just trying to shoot the ball up. Good penetration, get the ball inside the Banks.
Georgia Tech goes back in front by 1. An answer by Johnson.
How smooth is he? He's never in a rush, able to get to his spot, realizing that he can get and elevate.
And not only can he score, outstanding passer. 41-40 Wolfpack. Alvarado looking. Parham. Shot clock in single digits. Beverly defending. Alvarado lets it go. And the rebound to C.J. Bryce.
I thought that was a bailout. He had Braxton Beverly on him, and he's been able to get by the NC State guards at will.
Markel Johnson spins middle. And the contact draws the 3rd foul on Jordan Usher. A timeout at McCamish and a 1-point game between State and Tech. NC State 41, Georgia Tech 40. And a lot of greats on hand here today. Letterman's weekend here, and one of the all-time greats, none other than Mark Price. Let's take a look at our Toyota Tweet of the Week. See it on your screen. Excited to be at the game today for Roger Kaiser Day. We showed you Roger earlier, but Mark Price takes a backseat to no one with the significance, not only, Brian, of his play, but the way that the Georgia Tech basketball renaissance began.
So I'm going to tell you, when I was in high school, I did not have Georgia Tech on the map as far as recruitment. But when you look at the history of Georgia Tech and you see Roger Kaiser there, Mark Price, Bruce Dalrymple, and John Sally, for me, that was the original Lethal Weapon 3. and I look back and I realize that those guys that set the foundation for this great basketball program.
And, of course, Bobby Cremens orchestrating it all. He and Kevin Cantwell and so many great memories. That's how this place got the nickname, the Thriller Dome. Markel Johnson. That is his 16th point.
We were talking earlier about Markel Johnson and just the fact that how he handles this ball club with the efficiency, and he understands when to dribble, when to shoot, when to pass.
And he missed that game for the Wolfpack with an ankle injury when they lost to Georgia Tech in overtime in Raleigh in November. Alvarado into the paint, back out. Cole just takes Beverly right down low, shoots over him, misses, gets it back, missed, and a foul. Going up, says Bill Covington. Foul on DJ Funderburk is his first. So to the free throw line goes Evan Cole. Hit a three-pointer in that first half. He had some numbness in his left arm earlier in the week prior to the Louisville game. Let's have a quick word from Bojangles.
Say good morning and mean it with 2 hefty, zesty Bojangles sausage biscuits. It's Bo time.
Another missed free throw. Funderburk clears. Johnson done it all here today for the Wolfpack. Saves it. Funderburk swings it. Helms at the side of the glass. Now Beverly. Air ball 3. Alvarado wrestles it out of bounds. And the ball's going to belong to NC State. Kevin Keats, his ball club 3 for 15 now outside the arc. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson backpedals, fires and hits a corner 3.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's one of those instances, again, when you're a player and you're feeling it. You know, you can tell that Markel Johnson is on one of those little stretches right now where we've seen him where he's putting this ball club on his back.
45-41 Wolfpack. Alvarado works off the Banks screen. He rolls. Alvarado drives. Jose going up short. And it's Johnson to snatch the rebound away. 4-3 Wolfpack break. Beverly penetrates, reverses, too strong, kept alive in the glass. Finally rebounded by Alvarado. He'll take it all the way down on Funderburk, and a foul.
The reoccurring theme seems like it's been pretty much the point guard play on both ends of it. And for NC State, you see the penetration, what looks like really good defense by Evan Cole, but one of those instances better Markel Johnson.
2 free throws coming for Jose Alvarado. He's got 17. Moses Wright checking back in, and James Banks heads out to the bench. 13:51 to go in the second half. Alvarado has been particularly hot from three-point range of late. Last 6 games, 42%. He's knocked down 2 threes today. We've got a 2-point game. Funderburk with a deep post up.
Even though they didn't get anything, I still think that that's a matchup that NC State could win with Wright guarding Funderburk.
Cole moves it back to Parham at mid-floor. Alvarado the fake. The drive. The lane opens up. No help. And right to the rim.
And I like the patience by Alvarado. He realized that he had Funderburk. He was trying to hit him with a little bit of a hesitation and was able to get off and get that shot. Right now, Georgia Tech on a nice little run.
Johnson, skip pass to the corner. Helms, double team. And the Jackets take it away, and they're running. Bounce to Cole. Takes it up. And in.
Well, Georgia Tech being able to use defense to offense. Evan Cole with a nice run. Georgia Tech fans letting him hear it.
Jackets go up by 2, and the crowd comes alive at McCamish. Johnson, right the rebound. Six unanswered by the Jackets to lead by 2. Bubba Parham against Beverly. Moves in. Cole gets out of the lane. 10 to shoot. Alvarado. Out of the corner. Parham drives. Alvarado's little runner is short. C.J. Bryce down to his knees to control it. Out to Johnson. Push ahead to Helms. Swings it back. Loose ball picked up by the Jackets and Moses White.
We talked about ball security for both teams, and it seemed as of late, North Carolina State not doing as good a job as they did in the first half of being able to take care of the ball.
10th turnover for the Wolfpack. And Georgia Tech gives it right back to them as Beverly goes up and a goaltend.
You see the hustle by Usher. Josh Pastor cannot be too happy with that turnover.
A timeout at 11:28 of the second half. All tied in Atlanta. A sad day for us in the Atlantic Coast Conference today. We learned of the passing of Gene Corrigan. In the history of college athletics, maybe never has there been a man who is as good an administrator at the collegiate level, at the commissioner's level, than this man. He was a personal mentor of mine. He meant a great deal to me, and to Lena and all the kids. Of course, his son Boo's the athletic director at NC State. But we lost a great man today, Brian. This guy was special. And his work in the conference office speaks for itself, but what he did at Virginia, what he did at Notre Dame, recognized throughout college athletics. This is how you do this job. And Gene Corrigan led this Atlantic Coast Conference in a very strong way, and it was a great joy to know him and work for him. $47-all. Coming down the stretch, you know, for all the ups and downs and ins and outs of this game, no separation.
And NC State extending their pressure, trying to throw another little monkey wrench at Georgia Tech, because it seemed offensively Georgia Tech had been able to get some kind of momentum going before that turnover by Jordan Usher.
C.J. Bryce just picked up his third foul. Out of bounds underneath for the Jackets. Cole. Right against Vanderberg. Moses just can't get the shot away. Then lost it going up.
Good defense by DJ Vanderberg,
Yes,
being able to hold him and stay straight up. I think if you're Moses Wright, you got to go faster. You don't have the opportunity. You have to kick that ball out. Still feel that if you're NC State, you give DJ Vanderberg an opportunity. I know he hasn't been a big offensive threat, but I think that you give him a chance to get going down low.
Cross court, Beverly. Patrick off the dribble. Tapped out into a fast break for the Jackets. State trying to get back quickly. Alvarado momentarily lost the dribble, then threw it away.
And those are the turnovers that has plagued this Georgia Tech team.
Daniels going up strong. Rebound Cole. Kevin Keats complaining about a lack of a whistle, but I thought that was a play on.
Yeah, I thought so too. You make sure that you stay vertical. And it is a play on.
Tapped out. And it's going to belong to Georgia Tech.
That last time you saw Jordan Usher had a smaller Braxton Beverly. I think that that's one of those times that you got to go ahead and try to make a play at the rim. A little turnaround jump shot was more of a bailout. See rotations, I think, in this last 10 minutes of the game. Who's going to be able to separate? We haven't been able to see any separation from any one of these teams yet, Bob.
Markel Johnson back in for Beverly. And on again, Jackets score out of bounds underneath. Cole gets the jam.
You just saw Kevin Keats look over his coaching staff as if, really?
And that's just a cardinal sin. Johnson rises up, rolls it over the rim. Offensive rebound for Daniels. Helen, cross court, Johnson, open look, and can't bury. Rebound to Usher. Barham, cross court, Alvarado. NC State basketball.
You wonder with Jose Alvarado and the pass that you see. The finish by Devin Daniels. How about going up? All right, great pass. But damn, Devin Daniels with the finish. Back to my point, you wonder where Josh Passon gives Jose Alvarado a blow. He's played a lot of minutes when he becomes fresh.
And that's going to be an over-the-back on Moses Wright. His third.
You see, how about the pass and awareness by C.J. Bryce going, and Devin Daniels going way up high for that finish. Again, this NC State team has got a lot of athletic guys when you talk about Devin Daniels, C.J. Bryce, DJ Funderburk.
It's fascinating to me, Brian, that here's NC State, even on the road, and nothing in the point column from C.J. Bryce.
Well, and that shows what the weapons that they have right there. You see the nice little jump off.
State got the whistle. Josh Bass just shows his disgust. I don't know whether he got him with the body or not. Let's see, but it was clean up top.
Yeah.
I think the body contact is what warranted the whistle.
And I saw the contact. I know the Georgia Tech fans are going to say no, but you look at how Banks went up. He didn't stay vertical. He extended, and there was some contact.
Helms with his fifth today had 15 and 7 of 7 at the line in Raleigh. 6 points today and 4 of 4 at the line.
And I thought that play to get it to Helms is being able to get the ball inside. That's where the weakest point of that zone. That last time getting it over, a nice little dump off.
51-49. And CJ a little handsy. And he just got his fourth foul. 16 fouls. Beverly coming into the game. CJ has to take a seat. We've got 8:09 remaining here in the second half.
If you're Georgia Tech with that matchup between Alvarado and Beverly, I put him in a pick and roll and try to see if he can get around and make a play at the rim.
Cole. Bounce inside, Banks. Going up against Funderburk. Left hand hook off the mark. Cole follows, but he got fouled. That's going to be on Helms. Timeout. 7:47 to go. Second half. State by 2.
17 foul. Officials timeout.
Welcome back to McCamish Pavillion, everybody. Bob Rathman, Brian Oliver with you. 51-49. 7:47 to play here in our second half. Anybody's ball game. We've seen some remarkable individual performances. But we, like you, wonder which way is this thing going to go?
Well, it seems like what it's been more of a point guard battle because Markel Johnson and Jose Alvarado have been going back and forth. These are the two guys that have actually been the points makers for both teams.
Evan Cole at the free throw line here for the Yellow Jackets. Now a quick word from Myrtle Beach Golf Trail.
Myrtle Beach Golf Trail, a new way to experience golf in Myrtle Beach. Visit myrtlebeachgolftrail.com.
Cole has equaled his season high of 9. He first established that in Chapel Hill earlier this season. That was a Georgia Tech win by 13. Tar Heels getting back on track today at home against Miami. And NC State is hosting North Carolina Monday night. Markel Johnson steps through, gets it to the wing. 4 seconds. Daniels, tough shot, hit it at the buzzer.
How about that shot from Devin Daniels? It looks like Georgia Tech having a really good sequence on defense. Devin Daniels coming with a nice finish at the buzzer.
53-50 NC State. Usher. Daylight, had the shot, didn't take it. Now the ball is kicked.
And you see, how about the trap? And then you see Daniels over the long reach of James Banks. Good, Bob. We were talking, he's made some pretty athletic plays today.
Now that was terrific with all his momentum going the other way. Great shot. Alvarado, pump fakes. Usher. Vanderburg clears. And they get the ball into the hands of their senior, Markel Johnson. Underneath Daniels, blocked by Banks. Daniels saves. Wolfpack maintains the possession. The shot clock down to 16. Beverly. Johnson drives it. Left hand. Lays it in.
And again, in the first half, I thought that North Carolina State, when they were able to penetrate that zone and not settle for three-point shots, that's when they were able to get back into the game. Nice recognition by Markel Johnson, getting down, clear path to the basket.
55-50 NC State. Approaching the 6-minute mark in the second half. Usher. Cole on the wing. Short clock for the Jackets. Tough shot for Cole, but he's fouled. This is going to be on Helms, and that's his fourth.
Again, if you recognize, you see, how about the clear path by Johnson, realizing that he could get down there. This rotation by Georgia Tech, and he's been able to do that this afternoon. Again, a guy that can shoot the jump shot, but I think that what's helped him is his ability to be able to break down and get right to the basket and finish.
Back to the floor for the Jackets, Khalid Moore.
Khalid Moore comes in. Went out earlier in the second half with his fourth foul. Now the 6'10" junior from Cumming. Evan Cole with the second shot. That's good. 11 for Evan Cole. New season high, 55-52.
That 1-3-1 had given North Carolina State some problems earlier, but I think that what they've realized going inside out and then penetrating the gaps has been their best option as far as getting some success.
Helms penetrates in all kinds of traffic, and the Jackets take it away. Parham. Foul coming on DJ Vanderburg, his third.
DJ Vanderburg, his third. 19 foul. Bubba Parham at the line is shooting 2.
2 free throws coming for the Snellville junior, Bubba Parham. Now a quick word from Continental Tire.
Continental Tire, for what you do.
Parham rolls it in for his fourth point. C.J. Bryce with 4 personals comes in for the Wolfpack. Free throws by Cole and Parham cut it back to a 1-point game, 55-54.
At one point, it seemed like NC State was going to be able to put a little distance between them and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech being able to get some stops and some finish. Neither team being able to get any separation.
Markel keeps it away from Alvarado. And now Jose getting a little too tight. Picks up his first foul. Neither point guard with a personal until that whistle.
Well, and I think both of them have stepped up to the challenge. You've seen that on both ends of the floor. They've both been ultra aggressive on defense and offense.
Devin Daniels down at Beverly. 5 minutes to play. Markel. Not sure if that was a shot or a lob, but Vanderburg had it stripped. Alvarado to the hole. Rebound to the Wolfpack and Daniels. Tech's going over 5 minutes without a field goal. They generate the turnover here. Cole saves it, puts it up for grabs, and NC State gets it back. Now Johnson down and back to Beverly.
Well, helter-skelter action going back and forth.
Daniels fouled right in front of the Wolfpack bench. Evan Cole's second foul.
One of the things that I've noticed with this Georgia Tech 1-3-1 second half versus first half is every time the ball goes to the corner, they're opting to trap. NC State has to do a better job of making sure that they do not get into the passing, get the ball in the corner and allow Georgia Tech to trap them.
Johnson, cross court. C.J. Bryce got a short clock, dumps it inside. Vanderberg didn't get it off in time. And with that, a timeout. Fasten your seatbelts. Down the stretch they come at McCamish. It's time now for Protecting the Paint, brought to you by CPI Security. And Jose Alvarado, in addition to his scoring, Brian's done a little bit of everything today.
Yeah, also got 5 steals, 7 rebounds. He's been that guy that's gotten his nose dirty. Always right there coming up with a big steal, playing hard. I think that Georgia Tech has been able to stay in this game because they've been able to play really good defense. Jose Alvarado has been that guy. He's been a little bit of a pest for the NC State team.
Well, the question, who will step up? Alvarado's had the big day with 20, but the question becomes is, can they get another basket? No field goals for Georgia Tech over the last 6 minutes.
Yeah, well, no Michael DeVoe. I think that, again, Alvarado has stepped up for them. Bench points at 15. I think what it comes is that they're going to have to get some steals. And again, this is where Georgia Tech has faltered in the last 3 games. Ball security, throwing around, trying to make the home run play.
Alvarado backs it out. Jackets have missed their last 5 from the field. Their last 4 points have come at the foul line. Alvarado reclaims the dribble, gets rid of it. Cole, a bomb. In and out. Rebound to the Wolfpack. Still just a 1-point game.
1-3-1 zone. Again, NC State, get into those gaps, go inside out. Don't settle for a 3-point shot. At times they've been able to get inside and get to the basket.
Beverly, corner 3.
That's a good look. If I'm Kevin Keats, I love that look because you get the ball inside, you force the Georgia Tech defense to be able to come inside. You'll take that with Beverly being able to shoot that any time.
Alvarado got it up by Banks and tipped in for the second time, and Georgia Tech leads.
That was set up by Alvarado being able to draw DJ Thunder, but no one puts a body on James Banks.
56-55 Jackets. Vanderberg. Vanderberg going up. That's blocked. Saved in the corner by the Jackets and more.
I'm not sure if that wasn't a foul, Bob. Again, one of the reasons I'm sitting next to you, but I thought that there was contact. Referee officials opting to let them play.
Jackets get credit for their 5th block, lead by 1 with the basketball. 2 minutes to go. Alvarado. Met up top by Daniel. Shot clock becoming a factor at 7. Alvarado steps through the D, floats it, hits it.
How about that split by Jose Alvarado? Realizes he can get to the basket. Nice play. Georgia Tech up by 3. You got to get a stop. But again, North Carolina State. Get the ball inside. They can play at the rim.
Now it's the Wolfpack having trouble scoring. On the cut, Daniels. Fouled underneath, and he took one shot to the head.
You see Georgia Tech coming up. How about the defense? And you see rotation over. You see 2 big guys going over to come up with the block. And then how about Jose Alvarado? He's done it all afternoon, being able to get to the basket. Heady play, being able to split.
Khalid Moore just fouled out of the game.
Checking in for the Jackets, number 4, Jordan Usher.
His 5th, and it's going to be Jordan Usher to come in. Wolfpack getting precious free throws here. And Devin Daniels will step up to shoot 2. He's a 74% free throw shooter. Massive free throws here for the Wolfpack.
For Georgia Tech, you got to be careful. DJ Funderburg is a guy that's one of the tops in the league in offensive rebounds. James Banks got to put a body on him.
This one goes down, and NC State will take a timeout. Daniels splits the pair to cut it to 2, 58-56. We'll step aside. 90 seconds remain in Atlanta when we return. Let's take a look at our big moments. Jose Alvarado has come up huge for Georgia Tech with 22 points today, and he's put the Jackets in a position to win their first ACC game at home.
And Bob, we covered him in the open. We talked about that it was critical for them to have him step up. And again, he's come up big, 22 points. But again, how about how active he's been as far as on the boards and coming with big steals.
A 2-point lead for the Jackets, 90 seconds left. And Jose Alvarado and the Jackets in possession of the basketball here. State sets up the press.
Georgia Tech has to do a good job of making sure they inbound the ball. No turnover. NC State is one of those teams in the league that will put a lot of pressure. They got a lot of people, active hands. Got to be careful for Georgia Tech to take care of the ball.
Bill Covington Jr. hands the basketball, and here we go. Into Parham. Johnson with him at midcourt. Jackets by 2, 1:20 to play. Parham off the screen. Banks rolls. Now Alvarado. Single coverage with Daniels. Another screen by Banks. Alvarado keeps the dribble alive, and now on the drive goes Usher. He gets to Cole. Missed the shot. And a whistle. NC State with a foul.
Was Evan Cole trying to dunk that ball?
I think he was. Well, that shocked the house. 4 on Funderburg.
When you see the good drop off and you see Cole going to the ball, going to the basket. Some rotation, Kevin. He's pleading his case. Saying that he thought that DJ Funderburg went vertical on that shot.
Cole 4 out of 6 at the line. Misses the first. That keeps it a 2-point game with 104. Braxton Beverly comes in. Cole, for as gifted as an outside shooter he can be at times, struggles at that line and blows both free throws.
2 big misses, gives the door wide open for North Carolina State.
58-56 Georgia Tech. Inside the final minute. Now Johnson's been the man, Brian. They dial him up one more time.
Yeah, I think also as they try to make sure to get a penetration, you see.
Oh, it's Beverly to tie it.
Braxton Beverly coming up big. Again, a guy that's more of a 3-point shooting threat. Coming up big.
Georgia Tech timeout. 1 remaining. 37.8 left. Braxton Beverly.
You see that last time, Evan Cole not staying in front of him. Braxton Beverly realized can get there. Nice little penetration, no help. Stops and pops.
What I liked about that play, Brian, 2 things. 1, he got to that scene quickly, but there was no hesitation.
Not at all. We've seen that again. Again, he's a guy that's known for being a 3-point shooter. First half, he was able to put the ball on the floor, get to the basket 2 times. Realize he's got a big on him, get to the spot, and then shoot it. Elevate it and knock down that shot.
We've got more ACC college hoops coming your way on Tuesday for most of you. Red hot Syracuse. Winners of 5 straight after today. They'll take on Clemson. That game tips at 7 Eastern time. Clemson had a long day at the KFC Yum Center, losing to the Louisville Cardinals. Syracuse beat Pitt earlier today, and they are red hot. They journey to Tigertown to take on Clemson. 7 o'clock Eastern Tuesday. Check your local listing.
How about that Syracuse team? Jim Boeheim's got his ball club up to 6-3. Son Buddy Boeheim has been killing it. I did a game last week where they played at Virginia Tech. Matched his career hard with 26 points, 18 in the first half.
And he had 21 today. Kevin Keats, the NC State head man, looking for that first win over Georgia Tech, and it won't be easy.
Coming out of this timeout, if I'm Kevin Keats, I understand that they're going to have the ball in Alvarado's hands. I try to double him. I double him and get the ball out of his hands. And when you look, it says someone else has got to make a play, has got to beat us. All afternoon has been Alvarado. If you're Josh Pastner, you put him in the pick and roll, try to get something going to the basket.
Josh Pastner and the Jackets trying to get that elusive first home court ACC win. High pick and roll with Banks. Alvarado head down driving, gets inside, short, Banks tips it in. 2-point lead for the Jackets. NC State with a timeout. The Wolfpack stopped the clock with 19 points, now trailing by 2 with the ball. The length of James Banks.
And how many times have we seen this afternoon? Banks just kind of hanging around the rim. See the penetration, draw the attention of the defender, hanging around, being able to come up, and you see Alvarado doing a good job. You see Funderburg comes over, Hellam. No one puts a body on James Banks. Banks doing a good job of being able to hang around the rim. You see Hellam comes over, and then Banks with the follow-up.
One more look.
See, pulling 2 guys. Someone's got to come over there and put a body on James Banks, but that's been the second time that Banks has been able to get free for that putback.
Banks has 6 points, 7 rebounds. But now the attention turns to the NC State Wolfpack. Down by 2, 19.9. They have 1 timeout to work with.
We just talked about for Georgia Tech, you get the ball into the playmaker's hands. For NC State, it's been the same thing. Markell Johnson's been that guy for them all afternoon. Kevin Keats have drawn a play for him, maybe put him in the pick and roll, allow him to get to the basket. If you're Georgia Tech, you have to be careful. Not only Johnson, but Braxton Beverly. As of late, he's a guy that has knocked down some shots. And make sure that you box out because you got DJ Funderburg, who's more than capable of being able to do the same thing as James Banks, crash the boards with a putback.
Timeout is over. Kevin Keats has designed the play for his Wolfpack, and it's going to be C.J. Bryce to get it in. Shot clock is off. 19.9 left. NC State in the double bonus. They have 1 timeout remaining. Bill Covington asking the Jacket players to have a seat on the bench, and now C.J. Bryce gets it in. The bounce to Johnson. 2 to tie, 3 to win. 15 seconds left. Bryce. Johnson. Take it away! And a foul on the Wolfpack!
Kevin Keats beside himself. You see Jose Alvarado coming with the biggest steal of the day. And you see that Bryce wanted the handoff. How about Alvarado getting in there right between the handoff and exchange. You see again, fighting through that pick. Coming out with not only the handoff, but then the foul.
Jammed up on that wing, and Alvarado with the play of the game.
Absolutely. We talked again about his contribution today, Bob. And, you know, the 22 points were big, but the steals. I thought that from the beginning of the game up until now, he realized that he didn't have a Michael DeVoe and that he was going to have to take on a lot of responsibility. It seemed like he's taking his game up another notch. Right now, 2 big free throws for him to try to seal this win.
2 free throws for Alvarado. This is the big one right here. He can push this to 4. Brian O'Connell making sure everything's set. 8.4 remaining. The 6th steal today by Alvarado is the biggest. He pumps in the second free throw. NC State down by 4. Timeout. Jose Alvarado, it's your movie. We're just watching.
Yeah, and he has been big. He's been big all day, Bob. Again, he started from beginning to end.
24 points. And coming up huge on that sideline play. And he read it so well, Brian. He sensed that C.J. Bryce wanted dribble handoff. You'll see the floater here. He's had such a marvelous offensive game. That play on the wing, he read that thing just absolutely perfectly and took the opportunity away from the Wolfpack.
Well, and all afternoon long, you've seen him. He's always had his hand in the part in the pun. And you see that last time, being able to come up with being able to fight through that screen and come up with the steal of the day. Again, he's done it on both ends, both offensively, defensively. If I'm Georgia Tech, we don't allow them to score easily, because if I'm Kevin Keats, a quick score may be something we go after. We don't necessarily go for the 3, maybe a quick 2.
NC State uses its final timeout. And another steal by Alvarado. And Georgia Tech is going to beat NC State. What a finish.
And how about the icing on the cake, the cherry on the Sunday? Jose Alvarado comes up big, only fitting that he gets that steal. What a day for Jose Alvarado.
Josh Pastner and the Yellow Jackets improve in the ACC to 4-6. They get that win at home. And this will go down as the Jose Alvarado game.
And not only that, we talked about with Georgia Tech earlier, but Josh Pastner said they needed a win to get through, to push through. This may be the win for them, Bob, to help them go to the next level.
NC State's 3-game winning streak comes to an end. The Wolfpack dropped to 5-4 in conference play. And there it is, the final steal and lay-in for Jose Alvarado to clinch it today for the Yellow Jackets. Next broadcast, many of you will see Syracuse at Clemson. For Brian Oliver and our entire ACC crew, Bob Rathman, thanking you for joining us from Atlanta.